Shalom, everyone. I'm Ron Cantor, and I recently wrote a book called Birth Pangs. And one of the things that we focus on in the beginning of the book is just this phrase, be ready. It's something that I heard in the Spirit back in March, before we really knew that coronavirus was going to develop into what it's become. And I felt like the Lord was challenging us to be ready to prosper in the end times. And by prosper, I mean with the gospel, in bringing people to faith, revival, a move of God, not to be afraid, not to be overcome with fear. We have to become ready. And I don't know what your eschatology is. I don't know if you're pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, no-trib. What I do know is this, is that there is going to be a great falling away in the end times. That is what Yeshua taught in Matthew 24. He said, many will turn away from the faith and betray each other. And we have to ask ourselves, what would cause a believer, somebody who loves God, to turn away from God? Well, one thing might be if they were expecting to be raptured 7 years before the second coming, and then they find themselves living in the Great Tribulation. Now listen, I'm not dogmatic about these things, and my philosophy is this. I want to be ready to go if there is a pre-tribulation rapture, but I also want to be ready to stay. And if I do find myself here during those last 7 years, I want to be sharing the good news of Yeshua. That's going to be the time that God's going to pour out His Spirit on us. Yes, it's going to be a very difficult time on planet Earth. But just like in the book of Exodus, where the children of Israel were not touched by the plagues that were on Egypt, I believe during this time, believers will walk in the supernatural power of God. If you want encouragement on how to live in the end times, live in the Holy Spirit, supernatural provisions, just go to the website on your screen.